All right, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the TTS functions of version 2.0 and above. I have version 2.0.0.6 on the screen. Today's lesson is brought to you by Larry
and 20
Talent.
Now, and we are listening to Carter Scripps, hip hop.
And as you can see, I got it running in the background. We're going to get into this. Thanks for Larry Talent. He brought this out. And I want to honor him on this lesson on today. All right. So, I did some digging around to get this to work, because what I found out is it does not work out of the box. And I did some playing around. Being a programmer that I am, I did some playing around. And what I'm going to show you, you can do. All right. So let me pull up the folder. This is installation of RadioDJ version 2.0.0.6. And inside of that is disabled plugins. So let me stop it, because whenever you mess with this, you have to stop RadioDJ. All right, so inside of disabled plugins, you're going to see plugin TTS. Okay. And you want to grab all of that and copy it over into the plugins folder. Now, when you copy it over there, you're going to have this folder called TT-templates. What I found out is that will not work that way. So rename it to plugin_TTS. That's the first thing I had to do. And then inside of that, that's where you're going to put your XML file and your text files. So you can see I currently have a current time text file. I have a news XML file. I have a now playing XML file and a weather.txt file. Now, I found out that there are some limitations. So I'm going to delete this news XML, because the only thing that works via XML is the now playing. The now playing is the only thing that works for right now and using the XML. So everything else needs to be text files. Okay. So in my current time, in that file, that's going to be the same every time until he does something about, until they fix something about the now playing or the TTS. It would be great if the everything can work from the XML, but it doesn't. And I'm going to show you why here in a minute. So with the current time, you can put in what you want it to say, and you're going to exchange variables to, so to, say the current song or the current time or minutes or hours. But anybody knows this could get boring if you keep hearing it the exact same way every time. So I prefer, when it comes to saying the time, I prefer to use the Say Time plugin, because I can record my own voice. And I'll do a video on that soon. Okay. The weather. All right. The weather is a text file. It's basically a sentence that RadioDJ will read. Now, some people say they have weather programs that will update a text file. Well, all you have to do is make sure this text file is in this folder right here called plugin_TTS. Make sure that text file is in there so that you can set up RadioDJ to read it. So whatever program you're using that generates a text file, make sure you generate the text file and put it over, make sure it's generated in this folder. And then you can access it using TTS with RadioDJ. Now, the now playing, let's look at this real quick. I'm going to open this up using the text editor. You can use WordPad. Man, boy, I had to really work to find out what was going on with this thing. You're going to find out you have two voices, native voices in Windows. You have a female voice named Zyra, and you have a male voice named David. In the earlier versions of RadioDJ, you can change up which voice does what by using ones and zeros. Zeros was the guy's voice and one was the female's voice. You can also download other voices that sound even more human if you want to. Yeah, on different websites. Just search for TTS Voices for Windows. And so the number thing wasn't working. It kept going back to the default 0, which was the guy's voice. And so after playing around, I found out if I just name it the same name as it is in Radio DJ, it will change the voice. So I got, as you can see, I got the female saying one thing, and then the next time it's the female again. Let's change this to David so they can switch out back and forth. So this would be the woman, and this will be the guy. So what you see here, it's going to switch back and forth between the woman and the guy. And you can make them say whatever you want. And this list can be as long as you want. So you can really be creative. And so you don't sound the same every time. Also, this tracks to speak, this number 3, that's how many songs have to play before it plays the next line, which is good. So if you want to hear the text to voice every 5 songs, you would change that to 5, you know. So you can control how often this thing runs. Now it runs on its own, and it runs all the time. And like I say, I got it set for every 3 songs. You can put in here what you wanted to say, and you're going to change out song titles, times, and things of that nature with these variables. Any variable, you can use any variable that Radio DJ has. Let me go over here to the document folder. And let me open up, it's called stream variables. So let me open that up. And as you can see, you have a list of variables that you can use to say stuff. Now, there is a limit, I believe. It will not say variable duration files or other or internet stream. I believe it has to be a music file, sweeper file. I'm not sure about newest from the folder, but there's a limit on the what it can say. But you can play with all these variables to see what they would say, to see what how you can use them. Like for instance, the duration. Let's see. Let's play with this one. While I'm showing you this, I'm gonna throw this in that very first one, and I'm gonna say we're listening to Blank and Brown. And I'm gonna type in which is, and I don't know how this gonna come out. I don't know if it's gonna say hours, minutes, seconds. I don't know, but that's just one of the variables. I want to play with it. Duration is one of the variables that we can play with. We can use. Most of these are going to be like numbers, like genre ID, subcategory ID, track type. Those will be numbers. BPMs, disc numbers, the year. You can say the year. Let's grab one for the year, and let's put in here recorded in the year. And the songs I have in here, I don't know if they have the years on them or not. I may have to put some in there with years on them. All right, so recorded in a year, that's a stream variable that we could use. Language, of course, ISRC codes. Nobody wants to repeat that. The name of the image. We're using now minutes and hours. The by-link URLs, let's see, year, month, day. Oh, that's the current day, current month. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's try the day. I want to try the day. I want to try the month too. Tell you what, let's do on the, how many of these I got? On this one. Today's date is, let's do that. No, that's now day. Okay, now day, now year, and now month. I don't know how this gonna come out, but we're gonna put it up here. Today is the month. Then we'll do year. Again, I don't know how this gonna say it. Let's see. We have listeners. Gender, mood, comments. You can actually get the text to speech to actually speak comments. Album. So as you can see, any of these things, if somebody requests it, you can have that in there. Station name, whatever you got for station name, it will say that. Rotation name, it will say that. So these are the variables that you can use in the TTS as well as on your website if you're doing any coding. So this is my little template. And as like I said, you can have this thing as big and as long as you want, and it's going to go through each and every one. All right. So what I did was, in order to change up the voice who's speaking, because it always did David, if I put ones and zeros, it would always drop back to David. So I said, well, let me try putting the name. And when I did that, that made it work in this version 2.0. Now the numbers work great in version 182. And of course, the other thing was I had to make a folder called plugin underscore TTS. And that's where I put all of the files in. Okay. So now let me go and run RadioDJ and see what it sounds like. Okay. Now I told you it's going to do the now playing every 3 songs. So this is song 1. Song 2. Now it should kick in when I kick this next one.
It's 13 and 39 minutes now, and we are listening to Carter Scripps' new disco, which is 12:58 long, recorded in the year. Enjoy.
Okay, so apparently, let me double click on this. This does not have a year marked, and it doesn't. Okay. See this next one coming up. Does it have the year? Nope. None of these have the year. I created these files, these music beds, royalty-free music beds, and they are available on carterscripts.com. And what I'm doing is I'm double-clicking on the name, title, to make edits to it. I don't know if it's going to catch it when it plays. All right, so we notice this thing is set for every 3 songs. So that's, I don't know if that's 1 or 2. Okay, so that was 1, this is 2. Okay, and this is 3. So this one should say, let's go to the next one. It should say that 3rd line in our list. And I think we just heard a female. So this one should be, no, this should be the second one. This should be David. Okay.
Well, it's a beautiful day outside and you are still listening to our station. That's great. Now, we are listening to Carter Scripps, Chill Hop 04.
Okay. And also, I have the TTS tab over here in zone, going to zone number 3. All right, let's see what this next one is going to say. It's going to be the female. It's going to jump back to Zyra. So 1. Two. And this should be on the 3rd one. should be Zyra.
Now, we will listen to Carter Scripts, right here on Roderick Carter Live. Stay tuned for more great music. Today's date is 3/26/2021.
Okay, so when it said the month, it did the 3/26. Yeah, that's right, March. Okay. So the month will give you the numerical value for the month, and the day will give you the numerical value for the day and then the year. Wow, that's cool. Okay. And again, it's going to switch to David the next time it runs, which will be, like I say, every 3 songs. So this will be number 1. This will be number 2. And again, this will be 3. Now, as you can see down here on the TTS tab, you see Zyra is loaded up. When I go to the next song, it's going to load up David. Okay?
This was a great song, but now it's time to move to another great artist, Carter Scripts, and to listen to the track New Disco.
All right. So that's the now playing.xml file. It will cycle through what you have as long as it's all formatted the same way. And you'll see the format. The format is very simple. The messages are separated by tags. So every message is separated by a tag. You got an opening message, a closed message. Then inside of those messages, you got an opening voice. Who do you want to speak? Closed voice. And then what do you want that person to say? Open TTS, close TTS. And you can have as many of these as you want, as long as it's in between table and it's formatted the same way, like this. And of course, this number, how many songs you want to play before the next line or the next message plays. All right. That's a great way to make your station sound automated. Now, the current time, I realized it will only do one line. It will not cycle through lines. It will not work with the XML. It will only do one line. It has to be a text file, and it has to be labeled or named the same way, current spacetime.txt. This could get boring and old after a while. Okay. So if you go down here and hit on the TTS tab and you hit it.
It's 13 and 44 minutes now.
Okay. 13 and 44 minutes. So every time it plays, it's going to be the same voice saying the same thing. Let me stop them for a minute. Okay. Which is not cool. All right. Now, another thing you can do is for a track, every track has metadata, details, sweeper. Then you got this comment section right here. Whatever you put in here, this could be song lyrics. This can be information about the artist, information about the song. Whatever is put in here will play. Just know it's going to play it over the beginning of the song. So if it's real long, then hey, it's going to play it over the top of the song. The other thing too, when you're doing domains, I just break it up and make it speak what it would speak if we were to spell everything out. So it says this track was created by Carter Scripts, and then that's separated, and then the word dot, and then the word com. Okay. So if this is checked, what would happen is when that song plays, it'll speak the comments as long as this is enabled. If you have enabled, you have disabled. So let's see what happens when we take that song that we just did the comments for and put it in there. Speed this up.
This track was created by carterscripts.com.
Okay, see that? So I don't know if that's a good thing to do, because what happens if I have songs that are back to back? See, I got another song that's got comments in it, and I got that turned on. And let's say that's the next song. See what happens. I don't know if it's every so often. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, this is way too much talking, sir.
Okay, so me personally, I would not use the track comments. I just wouldn't. It's a nice feature. What would be good if there was an event that will let me choose a song and then choose the option to get the track comments. Then that way I can schedule it, and that would be cool. Also, we see here we have volume and we have rate. I'm assuming the rate is how fast it's going to say it. So let's speed this up. You only can go as fast as 10. So let's see what happens if we speed it up. Oh, track comments. Oops, sorry. Now see, this could be a conflict here in a second. Let's see.
This track was created by carterscripts.com.
Wow, that was fast. That was so fast. And then you got -10. Oh boy, let's see what -10 went to. And this is pulling from the track comments.
Okay, this is way too much talking, sir.
Okay. Don't know why anyone would want to do that. Nice feature anyway. All right, so I wouldn't use the speak track comments that much. I really wouldn't. The other thing is, whatever you type here, you can just hit the word say.
1258, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Kind of fast to me, but that's how fast David goes. Let's see how fast she goes.
1258 yet. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Let's see on the volume, how high can we go up? Okay, got a volume height of 50. So let's see what happens at 50.
1258 yet. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I hear a little distortion, so I'll take her back down to 15, maybe 20.
One, 258 yet. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It's 13 and 50 minutes now.
All right, so we saw how to do it with the noun playing. We saw how we can type it in, and we see that we can do TTS using the speak track comments. We can also do say time with TTS.
It's 13 and 50 minutes now, and we are listening to Carter Scripps' new disco, which is 1258 long, recorded in the year. Enjoy.
Okay, now let me see what that's. Let me see. Current time. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, what happened was at the time I pressed that, the three count was over at the same time, so they clashed. And I think when I pressed it, that got canceled, and the one that was playing with the track took over. So say time.
It's 13 and 51 minutes now.
Okay. Take this back down to a comfortable 15. So those are just good ways to test it. You can also enable and disable it. You can use an event to enable and disable it as well. So if you don't want it running during certain times of the day, you can have an event that says turn it off. And then you have an event that says turn it back on. Speaking of events, let's go over here to events. I got some events running. Basically, I'm going to do the weather from a text file. Let's do that one. So let me show you how to do that. So you give it a label, whatever you want. Set your days and your time. And I'm going to click on this plus green sign here, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to select plugin action. Then from there, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to drop down available plugins, and I'm going to look for Speak from Template. That's what I'm going to select. And remember, all of the template files have to be in this plugin _ TTS folder, which is inside of the plugins folder, which is inside of the RadioDJ folder. So I got a text file here called weather.txt. So that's what we're going to choose. When I selected that, this arguments became available right here. So I'm going to type in weather.txt. .txt. And hit add action. And what that does is that put that action there. So now let's see what happens when we schedule. Let's schedule it for 50, gotta be fast, 53 and 30. Go. All right. This is calling the weather from a text file.
Well, it's a beautiful day outside and you are still listening to our station. Currently in Winston-Salem the temperature is 90 degrees with a southwestern breeze of about 9 miles per hour. We are advising that a heavy thunderstorm will enter the area around 9 p.m. tonight.
Okay, so as you can see, that was the weather, because it's pulling it from this weather.txt file here. And I typed all that in for it to say that. So if you had a program that was creating this text file and updating it, this would be a nice feature to have. And if I get some time, I may work on a program software that will do that. I just got to figure out where to get it from, where to get the weather information from, and how to get it and format it into a text file. Okay, so the same works for the current time. It's the same way, but the current time you can only do got an idea for that, but you can only do this one line. But I might write some software that can update this every 5 minutes or so and generate a completely different phrase or saying. Okay, I'll work on that. So as you can see, that's how the TTS works. I don't use the TTS on my station because of the way I use sweepers, and I'm going to do a sweeper video because
in Winston-Salem the temperature is 90 degrees with a southwestern breeze of about 9 miles per hour.
That was the event. Yeah.
We are advising that a heavy thunderstorm will enter the area around 9 p.m. tonight.
All right, so I don't use the TTS because I use sweepers, and the way I use sweepers, you would think I was on the radio every day, all times of the night. And so I'll do a video on that, on using sweepers, and also I'll do probably a separate video on how to add, like if you go to a song and you go to edit track, you'll see there's a sweeper section here, and you can add any sweeper that you created to run when that song runs. You can have multiple sweepers, so I think it'll cycle through those sweepers. And I will show you how to get that to work. It doesn't work the way I would like for it to work, but I do know how to make it work.
Right here on Roderick Carter Live. Stay tuned.
Hope this has helped. Let me know. Don't forget, you can get training, and I'm going to be adding some advanced training, some things I can't do on Facebook, over at howtoUseRadioDJ.com. If you're not a member, go join. It's free. I have in-depth videos on, how to set up your station from scratch to a full-blown station. Now, the website is using, I think, version 182, maybe 165. It's pretty much the same, but I am going to be doing some updated videos using version 2.0 and above, because there are some features in 2.0 and above that are not available in the earlier features. All right, that's all I have. 31 minutes in. Give me a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and share it with people. All right. Hope this has been really, really helpful to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video training.